Hi, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the marketplace with Uchonochi. Good evening, everyone. Hope you've had a lovely Monday so far. I hope all is going well. I trust that all is well with you and yours. Today is going to be an exciting day, exciting time, where we will be discussing the law of clarity. I told you that we've gotten into a series of the laws. I have been studying the laws, the 12 universal laws, and I've been going over it for years now, trying to understand it and to try to see how I can align my life with these laws. And it has helped me tremendously to align myself with these laws. There are so many laws that we need to know about. Laws are things that have been tried and tested from one generation to the other, even from the medieval times right to where we are right now. There are some laws that we need to know. Some we know, we use, we practice it, we say it we say it jokingly, but we don't understand that those laws and that they are effective in our lives. And today I want to talk about the law of clarity. And so I want to welcome you. I see that projects making Nigeria have Okoche One. Welcome to the marketplace with Uchonoche. Also, those of you on my personal Instagram page, welcome. To those of you on Facebook, welcome. Those on Zoom and on YouTube, all of you, welcome today. This teaching, I will just go right ahead and just start um, the laws teaching about this law of clarity. Okay, let's just have a brief overview of what this law is, what it entails. All right, clarity. Clarity accounts for probably 80% of success and happiness in life and business. Clarity, having clarity, um, it accounts for a huge number, if you want to rate the things that cause success. Now, is probably more responsible for frustration and underachievement than any other one single factor. What did I say? Lack of clarity is probably more responsible for frustration and underachievement than any other single factor. So you see that clarity is a problem. It's a problem. Not having clarity in things and in issues it's a problem. That's why there's a saying that goes, success is goals and all else is commentary. Success is goals and all else is commentary, or all else is secondary, things like that. Clarity is very, very important. It's very, very important that we understand clarity, because without it, frustration sets in. Without it, underachievement sets in the things that we do. So we need to understand clarity. People with clear written vision, people with clear written goals accomplish far more in a shorter period of time than people without a clear goal or without anything written down. Without them, they could ever, without anything written down. You will realize that a lot of people have good intentions. They even have goals, but the problem is that because their goals are not written down, they now find it difficult to be able to accomplish them. If you have goals and these goals are written down, it is easier for you to accomplish them in a shorter period of time than people without them could ever imagine. So this is true everywhere and under all circumstances. That's why it is called law. That's why it's called the law of clarity, because over time it has been tried and tested that the people that have written rules or written goals are the people that succeed in life, and the people, they succeed more than people that don't. Just look at it, take a look at it. I look at it for a while. I just look at, you want to do something now. You have a goal for this week. There's something you want to achieve. Say all of us are salespeople, and we were given 10 items to sell in a week. And so now you are expected to sell 10 things in a week. So now, how do you move? How do you go? Some people will just take the 10 items and wake up in the morning and they will pray, God help me, and they will just move out there and they will just start talking to people without any clear, any clear, any clear goals on how they're going to sell, or have strategy on how they're going to sell that product. You know what happens? What happens is that the person, if there's somebody else that has planned and say, okay, this item, he has taken out time to think and say, this item, where can I sell it to? Who do I sell it to? Who are the people? Do I know anybody that can buy or can send me to people where I am? People that can buy. Are there segments of the city that where these people can be? So, and at what particular time of the day can I get these people there? And so now he has a clear written goal to sell 10, but he now has a plan in place of how he's going to do his asking question. You see, for you to have goals, somebody can just say, look, I can talk, I have gift of the gap. Let me take these 10 things and go out there. God will help me, I will go and sell without any plan. You have by yourself truncated your own progress, because you cannot get up and leave your house and just get on the street and just expect that there will be one miracle that will happen. Yes, miracle, I believe in miracles. They do happen. Maybe by happenstance you find yourself in the area where you can meet somebody, but that happens to, it doesn't happen frequently for you to base your plans on that kind of goals. There has to be that kind of strategy of just going out there and by divine orchestration, I will meet people. It is easy and simple for you to just get to a place where you know that these people are there. You know that you can meet these people in this part of the town. So first of all, you have saved yourself a lot of time and energy knowing exactly where they are. But the person that doesn't have a plan will say, no, I can talk. There's no problem. Nothing is happening. As they say, let me get there and I'll be able to talk and sell and come back. But you don't have a plan. You don't have a goal, how to accomplish more. The person that has sat down and written, even if the person doesn't go out for the first 2 days, but they have sat down, they have a plan. And because they have that plan, what happens is that they will move faster and accomplish more than you, that you are just don't have anything written or you don't have any plan. So clarity in fact, let me just say the three key. I went somewhere and they told me, the three keys to high achievement is what? In a class training I went, and everybody was saying this, that, and the facilitator said the three keys to high achievements are clarity, 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 with regards to your goals, of course. So you can imagine how important it is for you to have clarity in what you want to do. Your success in life will be largely determined by how clear you are about what you really, really want to do. You need to be clear, not because you have an assignment and some people just say, look, I have prayed. Yes, God answers questions, but you need to realize that this God that we call is an ordered God and not a God of confusion. This is the same God that created the whole earth. And at creation, he knew, if you read that Genesis 1, you see there was a strategy in his creation until man came last. He thought about it. Everything had to be in place for man to come. So you have to have a plan. You have to be clear. Success is guaranteed when you can determine, when you are clear on what you want to do. When you are clear on what you want to do, how you want to do it, where you're going to do it, who you are going to do it with, what you intend to accomplish. Once you are clear on those things, you're on your way to achieving something very great. Okay, so let's now go in and I want to give you 3 points on this law of clarity that will help you to achieve what you want, or to help you to apply this law to your day-to-day life. The first one is write and rewrite your goals if need be. The more you write and rewrite your goals, and the more you think about your goals and think about the things you've written, the clearer you will become about it. There's something, you see, write that vision, make it plain, so that those that read it will run with it. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So now, once you write, you can write a vision now. You write a vision. This is what I want to accomplish. Then you go out there and begin to ask questions about achieving that particular goal. You might come back and have more idea, more knowledge about what you intend to do. So you can rewrite and add more. You can subtract, remove more. You can add more. So by writing and rewriting and looking and keep looking and thinking about it, you become clearer. Never assume. For me, I have something interesting always happens. I want to have a meeting with somebody. I have what I want to discuss with the person written down. Most of the time, assuming I have 3 points, most of the time before the meeting, 1 or 2 other things will come. By the time I'm asking questions, I will write two or 3 other points, remove 2. By the time I finish discussing with the person, while I'm discussing with the person, I can write 1 or 2 more. Then after the discussion, maybe a day or 2, I will still come back and refine those goals. So as you write them down, it's not cast on stone. It's not cast in stone in any way. Once you write, always look back. Continue to look. When I write something, I keep it close to me before I make it official. I keep looking at it, keep looking at it. By the time you read, it's just like when you want to write something, a letter. You just write a letter. For some, they don't even proofread it. They just write, and after writing, they now sit down and begin to look at the letters, the letter they have written. Look at the content. Most of the time you realize by the time you get to a paragraph, you might want to add more. That's the same way it is with your goals. You realize that you expand, subtract, or whatever resize your goals, however it is. By looking and looking, your goals must be before you. Every time you need to be looking at it, keep looking at it, keep thinking about it. And the goals will keep expanding. As they are expanding, they become sharper. As they become sharper, they become smarter. As they become smarter, it becomes easier for you to achieve. So that's the first thing that you need to know about clarity. You need to write down your goals, because clarity as it regards your goals. The clearer you are about what you want, the more likely you are to do more and the more likely you are to do more and more of the things that are consistent in achieving them. Did you hear that? The clearer you are about your goals by writing them, rewriting them, revisiting them, reassessing, reevaluating them, and thinking about them, what happens is that the more likely you are to do more of those things that you want to do. And guess what? And more of the things that are consistent in achieving them. So this is what it means. This is what I want to achieve in a week. I've been talking about 10 items, to sell 10 items in a week. This is your goal, to sell 10 items in a week. Now you've thought about it, you've done your plan, you have your plan, you keep looking at it. The point you will come to, even without realizing it, is that you will get to the point that you begin to do more of the things that are consistent in helping you achieve it. Because when you have a goal, you're also thinking about the methodology, the method, the process, the model that you need to achieve it. So now you know what you want to achieve. You have the solution. Then the second phase is, how am I going to achieve it? The more you think about it, the more you revisit these goals, the more you are clearer about what you want to do. What happens is that you become consistent. You do more of those things that make you consistent in achieving them. More things you get to know, more things will keep coming to you, how you can achieve that particular goal. Meanwhile, another thing that happens is that you will do fewer and fewer of the things that don't help you to get the things you really want. So the more you think about something, the more you realize the things that you don't need to achieve it, then you do less of it. The more you don't, let's just take a simple one. You want to write a term paper. You want to write a proposal, and you have to turn it in by the end of the week. So what do? And the more you think about it, the more you realize the research that you need to do. I need to visit some websites. I need to read a book. I need to do this. I need to do that. The things that you need to do to achieve that goal will keep coming to you. Also, the things you don't need to do that period that you want to achieve that, one is to sleep more, two is not to research. You know exactly what you don't need, the things that you don't need to do to achieve, the things that you don't need to do to achieve that thing, you do fewer and fewer, less and less of. And automatically, those things can even live your life, because now your goal is more important. So set a goal that truly represents who you are. Because it's when you set a goal that truly represents who you are, it becomes easier for you. That the desire to achieve that thing will overwhelm you, overtake you, and you will begin to do more. You now begin to sacrifice. You will even want to sacrifice, go the extra mile to be able to achieve your goals. And you will do fewer of the things that are not needed for you to achieve that goal. So that is why it's important to write your goals, rewrite them if you will, and also try as much as possible to make sure you have it at the back of your mind always. And when you have it at the back of your mind always, you will be able to know the things that you need to do to get them done. Okay, the second aspect of this is I want to give you a seven-step process for achieving your goal. This is the second aspect of this law of clarity I want to share with you. I want to give you 7 quick steps that can help you on your journey to applying the law of clarity. The first one is decide The first one is decide exactly what you want in each area of your life. Be specific. You know, what I advise people to do, especially the people that I coach, is try and segment your life. Social, business, school, or empowerment, whatever areas of your life, family, you know, segment it. What is important to you now? What you want to achieve, your goals, segment your life, then now begin to choose your goals. Because when you now choose a goal, you have to think of all these segments of your life, different parts of your life. So decide exactly what you want in each of your life, then pick a goal that you want to. It must resonate with who you are, what you have. You know, you cannot set a goal as this kind of goal you will set as a single man. You can't set that goal as a married person with kids. You can't have the same goals. You can't get up and move and say, look, I want to relocate out of this country. I want to relocate out of the country to somewhere else, but you're married. There has to be a set goals. There has to be set goals that you need to, there has to be set goals that suit who you are, that complement who you are. So the first is decide exactly what you want in each of your life. Be specific. Okay. The second one is write it down clearly and in details. Anything you don't write down, anything you don't write down is lost forever. If you're a deep thinker, if you are highly analytical, you must have a pen and a paper with you always. You should have a pen and a paper with you always. Write down exactly those things. Write down exactly those things you want. Write it down. Be clear. Let it be clear, and let it be in details of exactly what you want to achieve. Because anything you don't write down, it is lost forever. The third part of the process is what? Set a specific deadline. Without a deadline, you can't move. You can't have, you don't want to write a book. Say, I want to write a book, and you don't set a deadline. If you don't set a deadline, there's nothing that will be, there's nothing that will push you to complete it. Set a deadline and be committed to that deadline that you have set. There must be a deadline in any achieving any particular goal. If not, it's a waste of your time. If it's a large goal, then break it down into sub deadlines and write them down in order, in that order. So what I do if I have a task that is big, what I usually do first of all is that I try to break those tasks into small tasks. Then by the time I'm doing it, it becomes easy for you to do the whole instead of trying to tackle the whole at once. Try and break your into tasks. Just think of how can I do this job? I can do this. Over the years, I've perfected the act of breaking down tasks so that it's easier for me to do and to handle at that time. So it is set that goals, and when you set those goals, and and even if you break down the task, what you need to do is that if you break down those tasks, also have a timeline for all those tasks that you need to do. If you have something to do and you need to do it in a month, then you break down the task into 4. It means that each one should be at least by 1 week. Each one should be 1 week, so that by the end of the 1 month, you've already finished the job. So deadlines are very important. So when you finish writing that deadline, put it in the order of priority starting from the ones that are most important to the ones that are least important. The fourth thing on that in the process, in the seven step process that I've talked to you about is make a list of everything. Make a list. Make a list of everything you can think of that you're going to have to do to achieve the goals. As you think of new items, add it to the list. When you have a goal, if you have a goal, what you now need to do is, all right, just a minute, let me admit people to Zoom. All right, so the fourth thing to do in the seven process is make a list of everything you want, everything you can think of that you're going to have to do to achieve the goal. It must be listed, okay? Every day, this is what I need to accomplish. I need to accomplish this. There must be milestones. There must be deadlines. There must be progress reports. If not, you won't know if you're making any progress or not. And so in the list that you write in these seven steps, you need to write them down, and you can keep adding to the list, removing, as long as that list and the things that you're putting there are the things that will help you to achieve what you want to achieve. Okay, the fifth one is organize now the items on your list into a plan by placing them in the proper sequence of priority. Now you have to have a plan. I need to finish this work before I do this, before I do that. Always start with the important ones and make sure that you start with the important ones, not the ones that are least important. Most people will, not most people, some people like to start from the least stressful and they begin to move. In that way, you cannot accomplish more. You can't accomplish more than somebody that is starting from the difficult part, but important, and coming down to the least important. So by the time you begin to organize these things, what it actually means is that you have a plan. You have a plan of action. Your plan of action is those things that you itemize you want to do, and you have given a timeline to it. That is your plan of action. And you follow them one step after the other, one step after the other, and you'll be surprised that you finish on time and also in an organized manner. The sixth step, in the sixth one, the sixth item on that 7 steps is to take action immediately on the most important things you can do on your plan. It's very important that you start from the very important to the least important. I've said it before, start from the very important to the least important. Put your energy, say in the morning, put your energy out there in the mornings. Some people, if morning is your time that you need to that you normally think your most productive time, then put it out there. In the morning, this is what you need to do. Do the important ones first before you get to the less important ones. You realize that you will meet your deadline and on time. Okay, the 7th one in that process is to do something every day that moves you towards attaining one or more of your important goals. Maintain the momentum. It's just like reading a book. Try and read a book. If you say you want to finish this book in 2 weeks, make progress every day. If you don't make progress every day, it might get to a point that you just say, well, let me try something else. People that want to read a book, you realize that sometimes they will pick a book and they will get halfway, they will drop it, they will start another book because they were not consistent. If you make sure, no matter how tired you are, read 2 pages, 1 chapter, one chapter a day, something towards finishing it. If you're writing a book, try and be writing something regularly, because it makes you remain in the flow. You still remain in that flow. You still remain in that flow, and you're still moving in that flow. So try as much as possible to maintain momentum. If not, you will lose that momentum, and you will not have any reason to go on. All right. So see, there's something I saw, and it frightened me a bit. And I read, and it said fewer than 3% of adults have written goals and plans that they work on every single day. That can be scary, because a whole lot, fewer than 3% of adults have written goals and plans that they work on every single day. Fewer than 3%. That is not a very good statistics. When you sit down and write out your plan, it means that you're moving yourself to the top 3% of people in your society that are successful. Because the way to success is having a plan. The way to wealth, most of us talk about wealth, but the way to wealth is having a plan. And you will soon start to get the same result when you have a plan. Once you have a plan and write it down and doing something every day to move you towards achieving that plan, you will move to the top 3%. And the top 3% control the wealth. The top 3% control everything control economies, control nations, continents, the top 3%. And these are the people that have a plan. They say a man with a plan is a dangerous man, because he knows where he's going. You cannot compete with a man with a plan. You cannot compete with a man that is clear with his plan. You can't compete with him if you don't have a plan. A man that has a plan, whether good or bad, you can't compete with him, because he has step by step what he needs to achieve. And once you can list and itemize the things that you need to do on a daily basis to achieve that thing that you want to achieve, you see your life will be progressing, your life will be moving. Have a plan. Be clear on what you want, and be clear on the things that you need to get that thing that you want. And now prioritize and get a list of the things that you need to do. And as you get a list of the things you need to do,
priority.
Put them in order of priority and start with the most important. And you can keep adding as the day goes by. You can add, like I said, write your vision, rewrite it. The more you do, the more knowledgeable you become. The more you do, the less ignorant you are about achieving it. There's something about doing something. The more you do, the more you are able to do more. The more you are more knowledgeable, you are more knowledgeable to achieve even more. But if you don't try, you will never know how far you can go. Listen. If you don't try, you will never know how far you can accomplish. So try as much as possible to see that you get to this top 3%. And this top 3%, they know exactly what they want. And they have a list, and they're following it, and they put deadlines to achieving that. If you can do that in your life, you will see progress within a period of time. Okay, now the third and the last thing about this law is to review your goals daily. Study and review your goals every day to be sure that they are still the most important goals.
Study and review your goals every day.
You must review your goals regularly. Don't write it and say, oh, this is how it should be. Life generally evolves. People evolve. So do businesses evolve. People's desires evolve. Your customers' taste can change. So if you don't make the move to always be consistent and change along with your customers, you are going to be dropped.
So,
You will be dropped.
yeah.
You will be dropped if you don't make. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Someone needs to mute their mic just a minute. Okay. All right. So if you don't review in line, if you don't review in line with what your customers want, what your customers need, and I was talking about tastes differ. Every day taste comes. Technology comes. There's one new thing or the other that people are doing, that people are moving. So you need to review your goals. Your goals can't be stagnant. It can't be stagnant. Keep reviewing it so that you keep being relevant in the life of your customers, in the life of your family, your friends, and all. You will find yourself adding goals to your list as the time passes by, because now you can't be stagnant even in your thoughts. You'll be reviewing and adding and making your goals more robust the more you do it. You will also find yourself deleting goals that are no longer important to you. Once you start to review your goals, you will delete a lot of things and you add more. Delete the old ways of doing things and add new ways of doing things. Whatever your goals are, plan them out thoroughly on paper and work on them every single day. You must have that plan written somewhere. And when you come to your office, you are acting out a script you have written before. You are acting out a script you have written before. You are not starting to act a new one. You are acting a script. So once you come, plan them out thoroughly on paper, then work on them every day. This is the key to peak performance and maximum achievement. It's this simple. And that is what the law of clarity is talking about. We need to be clear on the things that we need to do. So now you need to take action, and I'm going to give you 3 action points. You need to take action. First of all, I want you to make a list of 10 goals that you would like to achieve in the coming year. Write down 10 goals you want to achieve in the coming year. Write them down in the present tense as though a year has come and passed and you've already accomplished them. Just write them down as if you've already accomplished them, but write down those 10 things. Then the second thing that you need to do is, from those 10 goals that you've written, ask yourself which one, if they were to be accomplished, which one, if they were to be accomplished, would be the greatest impact on your life? Which one will give you the greatest impact? Whatever it is, circle it, remove it, and put it in a separate sheet of paper. You know, the things that you know that can change your life, those goals you want to achieve, take it, put it in a separate paper. Then the next thing you need to do is to now go back and practice that 7 steps that I've shared. For those of you that are just coming on Instagram and Facebook and Zoom, they can see the PowerPoint presentation. But you can go to YouTube, you can see it on my Facebook. You can also see it on Uchonoche channel on YouTube. You can see this presentation there. In case you miss certain aspects, it's always there. Practice now. Once you have done that, practice. Once you have moved the important ones from the list, practice the 7 steps that I've mentioned. Set a deadline, make a plan, put them in action, work on them every day. You have to work on those things that you say that are important. So 10 things. Take the most important, put them in another place. Take the most important that you have written down on the list, put it in another plain place, sheet of paper, and set a deadline for accomplishment. Make a plan, then every day move towards accomplishing it every day. Make your goal the major purpose for you every week. Let it be the major purpose. Then get ready and see the kind of change that will come into your life. You'll be surprised the kind of change that will come into your life. Once you take that important one, take the list, and when you take it, now do that plan. Do that plan. Take the 7 steps, and you will be surprised and you will be amazed at what your life can do. A lot of people have abandoned projects. Why? Why do they have abandoned projects? Because they never followed up with this plan. Clarity. Once you are clear on what you want to do, it becomes so easy and important for you, so easy for you to accomplish with hard work. All right, so this is where I stop today, but please, before you go, just hang on. On Wednesdays, Wednesdays 4 p.m. Nigerian time is my mentoring session where people ask me questions on the 5 areas that we handle in Marketplace Apostle. That's business, career, leadership, personal finance, and relationships and life issues. So if you have any question in that area, just put it out in the DM, whichever of my DM, Untitled Marketplace or Make in Nigeria. Just put it out there. We will take the question 4 p.m. Nigerian time, West African time. I will be here on Wednesday to answer your questions. So just put it out there and wait for me. If you have somebody that has questions in this area, in these 5 areas, you can just ask them to just put out their questions. I will come out. I will come out and answer. The beauty of it is that I don't know these people that put these questions out. I don't know the people that put these questions out. So I just come and I answer the questions, and I just answer those questions. They don't put their name. They can just put Uche O from Florida, Uche O from Abuja, and I get to answer those questions. And the same applies for you. You can put it there, put in any. If you enjoyed our presentation today, just help us share this link when you get it. Like this page, so anything that we're doing, you will be notified. Okay, some people say, Uche, I need you to coach me to greatness. Here at Marketplace Apostle, by the will of God, we have been able to coach people to success all around the world, and we can do that for you. If you want that, you can reach out, private chat us, and we'll be able to discuss with you how we can make that happen for you. Okay, so next Monday also, we're doing another law that will be quite interesting for you. So I hope to see you. Those of you from Making Nigeria, our TMG forum is also going to come, an interactive forum when we discuss on these 5 areas in Marketplace Apostle. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Worry 6, thank you for coming in. Those of you Project Making Nigeria, thank you for coming in. Those of you on Zoom, those of you on Facebook, those of you on YouTube, thank you everyone for coming. I hope to see you on Wednesday and on Monday. Have a great day. I might not be able to answer your questions, but on Wednesday, if you have any questions, put it out there. On Wednesday, 4 p.m. Nigerian time, I will be there to answer your questions. Bolanle, thank you also. Hope to see you on Wednesday and on Monday. God bless you. Good night, everyone, and God bless you.